What's up, y'all? Good Monday. Good to see y'all. Listen, y'all. If y'all don't know, this is TFG Tonight, and I'm your host, Mr. Haynes. And this is the best morning show that you can watch at night. Y'all listen, that's Devyn, that's Lee, and that's Kenny.
I'm trying to be nice.
Black said we got two Americans.
Say to my brother Black, man, I think you could be a preacher. I ain't never heard somebody that use a curse word and then read a scripture right after.
So let me state for the record, I am a misogynist. You know,
Pull out your card, Doc. He's
and I'm a chauvinist as well. Anybody who knows me knows that.
That's right.
Now I can go back to minding my own business. Either that boy is Benjamin Button or somebody lying.
And listen, and that boy may be mentally 12, but he's 34.
But you bad boy, you don't do it again.
I'll let Black articulate a little bit better than that.
Nope.
Okay.
Never mind.
It's good for the soul. It's like medicine, right?
Yeah, for real.
That's all I gotta say. I wish I had one of them applause buttons to, like it.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
And what a happy Monday it is. Hey, we are in the second week of Pride Month. And we are proud to talk about it today. But I can't do it by myself, y'all. I got to bring the family on. Gentlemen, madam.
Happy Pride, y'all.
What's up?
Yes, honey. Tell them what you represent. A little bit of what? Would you say that?
A little bit high maintenance.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I mean, the lie. I know, TD. I know that's a lie. Come on in there, Mr. Devyn. Tell the truth. Somebody. What's up? Y'all good?
What's happening? Good Monday.
Oh,
How y'all?
yeah. Man, fantastic. This is the favorite part of my week, and I'm telling you, and we just getting started, so ain't nothing better but this. But I'm always excited to see y'all, and I'm always excited to see my family. And you know why? Because we gonna get this thing started. So here it is. If you say something y'all like, by all means, see that at the bottom. Feel free to share, and if not, we don't care. All right. I'm sorry. All right, y'all. I'm too excited. I got to keep up with politics, and we're gonna be here a minute because a lot has transpired in 7 days. Number one, Elon and Trump finally got into it, and I don't know if I don't. Number one, when two white rich men get into it publicly, we know how quickly things can get out of hand. And so, sister, I know you ain't digging in a lot of people's business, but did you get a chance to see that?
I saw that mess.
You think?
I just feel like they're not saying anything. I mean, Elon saying that Trump is on those files is like saying my name is Devyn and I'm a little bit high maintenance. Like nobody would be surprised,
Right?
about me saying any of that. So I don't think he was dishing anything. I think it was a little silly, actually.
Right. So again, Kenny, they gloves on right now. Ain't no gloves off right now, right? This ain't real. So again, but at the same time, what's the point then? They are getting into it, but I don't understand.
What's the end game is going to be?
Yeah.
That's what you're asking.
Where we going
They'll probably be shaking hands and eating caviar together at a party later on. But right now, I think I knew eventually they were going to probably clash. I knew this was going to happen because again, you say you got two old white men with a lot of money.
Yeah,
their egos start feeling some type of way. So you're not gonna one up me, and we already know that convicted felon, he doesn't like to be one upped. So he's already childish. So he's gonna even be more childish when it comes to this. So he's making threats. He's talking about if Musk, puts his money behind the Democrats, it wouldn't be good for him, this and that, yada, yada, yada. They just a bunch of rich white men out there that's just wasting America's people's time at the end of the day. I could care less about either one of them.
Yeah. So Black, I'm gonna throw this at you though, because they haven't known each other that long. Like they barely came to know each other through the election. And so they really don't know each other's ugly side. And it has been reported that Elon on the spectrum. So I don't know if Trump really ready for one of these folks that ain't really got no sense. So
Trump will have him deported if you keep on.
Well, so my perspective on this is that I don't know if it's real or fake.
mm-hmm.
You know, I do think it's a great distraction away from some of the other decisions that are being made. That once again, it's all for the cameras and behind the scenes. Real things are happening right here in California, right as we speak.
Right.
The situation that's going on with him sending the presence of the military. Got other little laws being passed. But here's the most interesting part to me about it, though, is sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for, because this is like two superpowers, both mutually can destroy each other. One has money and one has power. And to your point, Brenton, if in the midst of what's slightly jarring turns into something more, there is the potential there for it to be explosive. You guys are right. Now, while he could deport him and all his good things, let's put this perspective now. Trump's net worth is about $8 billion, they suspect. They just can't. Elon Musk, he's worth, what is it now? $248 billion, I think, is the last number we just seen in June.
With the downfall.
So even if you deport him now, he has the potential to do a lot of damage. And so I'm going to follow the advice of my brother from another below me. Black folks, sit this one out. Let's just keep walking our fish.
And that's it. And here's the thing. Trump has warned them. That's why I kind of don't know what's really going on. But like you said, Devyn, they ain't saying nothing. But if Elon decides to start funding Democrats, your gloves off then. So we just gonna watch. And I'm just telling y'all, we just gonna watch.
I just think it's battle of egos. That's literally all it is. And I think Trump is going to continue to cater to his ego, because unlike Trump, Elon really has nothing to lose. If you have that much money, there's nothing anybody can say to ruin your life. I mean,
well, now listen, because he owns a few $1 billion of those government contracts.
Government contracts.
I was going to say,
right.
To your point, sister, he can't ruin him, but he's already lost billions with the drop in stock for Tesla. He does own government contracts, and even he threatened to pull the contracts from NASA. There's a lot at stake, here. At the end of the day, money.
20 billion.
Money.
Yeah. 20
and I feel
billion.
like that's the reason why he pulled back and he decided to say something harmless about him, so that he could help his Tesla stock, because a lot of people just backed off of it.
Absolutely.
That's how y'all know money is the most important thing to these people, man. Nothing else matters. Classism over racism. Okay, I got one more, y'all. I thought I was having deja vu, and I said, did somebody beat Rodney King again? They had riots again in Los Angeles, and now Trump is deciding to bring the National Guard to California. This is what he really wanted to do last time he was in office.
Correct.
But he had a lot of people that were loyal to the country instead of loyal to him. And now, first time, shame on them. Second time, shame on him. Now he really getting it done. I mean, Black, is this really going to cause civil unrest now for us?
I don't necessarily know if it'll cause civil unrest. He's doing it, to me, he's doing exactly what he said he would do.
That's true.
He has turned the military into his own personal, force, but he said, folks, he's doing, he already told you he would. Every grievance he's carrying out. It's no secret that the governor of California and him have never liked each other. They've clashed. He said negative things to say. And so he is using the CIA, FBI, the military as his personal services. Damn the Constitution, because there's active lawsuits against it right now. But Trump is of the mindset, I'm gonna do it anyway, and then I'll deal with the aftermath. And so for his base, he's playing the card that he said he would.
Kenny, is this something we should be a little bit worried about? Like he said, he's willing to put the military in any state. Again, I thought he passed stuff on to the states for them to do. but now he's going and usurping the states. I don't. You know.
In the words of myself, I'm going to keep walking my fish and flying my dog because again, this is what America asked for. So again, I'm going to sit here and smile and continue to see. Hey, black folks, it's Black Music Month, by the way. Put you on some good black music all month. Celebrate our talents.
It's almost Juneteenth, y'all.
Yeah, forget about that clown up there in Washington because he's clowning and that's what he said he's gonna do. So no, I feel a little bit of empathy for the Hispanic community, but they voted for they voted against their own interests. This is what you get. I knew you was gonna say that, brother Black.
They were picking these jokers up for those day laborers. They were hanging out at the corners, man. I said,
I know, right?
They're not playing. Yeah. Okay, sister, I say this good one for you. Now, I got a text message from one of these Hispanics that was wanting to ask this question about this riot. And I just asked him a simple question. I said, I guess Trump figured out how to send the military to rioters because he sure forgot when they was in Washington.
Mm-hmm. He damn sure did.
I said, so I told him this. I said, I don't have a problem with what he's doing. I said, but I see hypocrisy because he acted like he didn't know how to call them out because he said they was beating up on the police. So again, how do we discuss with those who support him because they don't even want to hear the truth?
You know, I even heard him 47 call them like insurrectionists or insurrectionists. He said he actually used those words to like describe them. And at first I was like, but I had to check myself. I was in there talking and I was like, you know, I almost got like, I felt some kind of way. I seen one dude knock the hell out of 3 police officers and nothing bad happened. He didn't get tased. He didn't get hit with a club. He didn't get shot even with non-lethal bullets. Like nothing happened. 3 cops, he tat all their asses. Even one of them was a female. He whooped their ass too. And they did. Well, first of all, I realized that this is California and it's a different place. It's a different world. And so a lot more liberal than like, he couldn't do that in Texas and Dallas. You know,
oh no,
I realized that, but I just felt some kind of way about it. And then I went back to a lot of the Hispanics and brown people that I know who have confessed to me that they're not necessarily Trump supporters, but they're Republicans and they really don't care much about people who came over here the wrong way. Like if their own people don't stand with them.
Right.
If they don't care about their own folks, we can only care so much. Like when my empathy kicks in when it comes to children. And mothers who are having their children taken to one place and them another. That's where my empathy kicks in. But I'm like, because if they really want to just clean house, ICE, that's where you do it in San Diego, because they just walk right over from Tijuana.
Right. So again, I think everybody's on the bucket list. He's just waiting. The closer he gets about to leave, he's setting up some stuff, man. So
it's safer for him to do it. God, it sounds bad. It's safer for him to do it and to be more accepted by America to brown people than black people.
Yeah, he didn't want to start with us for sure.
Because a lot of people don't give a damn. If y'all will notice, Americans don't care that much.
No, they don't.
Already.
You're right.
So don't.
You're right.
They don't. But again.
You're right.
Again, remember his first term, it was Black Lives Matters that was protesting.
Right.
And so again, I'll be honest, he skated away from that one because man, you would have lit
Black
Civil
Lives
War
Matter.
on fire.
You even saw a handful of of brown and white people that were even supporting that cause. You don't see nobody out there with them folks but brown folks.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. So, well, it is what it is, y'all. But there's a lot going on, and there's a lot more going on. And again, we only 6 months into his second term.
Just keep, like Kitty say, keep walking your fish. And
my God, is there enough fish in the pond? No?
Pick your
right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes, that's it. So, all right, y'all. Well, I got to get him in early because we got to celebrate Pride. We'll get to it. Kenny, tell me what's going on, man, in the world of sports, brother.
We're gonna celebrate women, a particular woman here in a second, but I gotta get us up to date on the NBA Finals. The Thunder came back and put the smackdown on the Pacers like I thought they would. That series now, NBA Finals, is tied up 1-1. The next game is Wednesday night, and just to give you a little bit of numbers, this NBA Finals is probably going to be the lowest watched one ever, according to the numbers from Game 1. Viewership is down from like 18%. Television ratings is down 17% from last year's Game 1 Finals, which was the Celtics and the Mavs. Right now, this series is averaging like 8.9 million viewers, which is the lowest viewership of an NBA Finals thus far since the pandemic era, and actually the lowest Nielsen rated Game 1 Finals since 1989. So that's just telling you how, if you're probably not a Thunder fan or a Pacer fan, most people in this country aren't interested. That's the casual fans that we talked about last week. Me personally, I'm an NBA guy, so I'm watching it, and I don't give a damn about the numbers. But again, Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So there you have that. And speaking of numbers, we got to talk about this young sister in Lubbock, Texas, at Texas Tech. My good brother, Black, actually, he sent me this. I already kind of knew about her a couple of days ago. I was just waiting to see what was she going to do in the College World Series. Her name is Najee Kennedy. Hey, what's up, CC? She's out of Topeka, Kansas. She actually transferred from Stanford to Texas Tech, and she got the highest NIL deal ever paid to a collegiate women's softball player in history. She signed a $1,050,000 deal at Texas Tech, and now last week it's being reported her new deal, which will be kicked in this upcoming season, is going to be an additional $1.2 million for her second NIL deal. So this young lady is going to have about $2 million of them things. She going to have that bag. Yeah, so I'm sure it's going to be some brothers in her DM. Y'all stay out Najee Kennedy DM. And I ain't even
I might jump in her DM.
And I want to start with the beautiful lady of the crew, because this is women's sports. I don't really watch women, softball, but the way this young lady has been playing, she ain't been a one-hit wonder. She's done this thing 2 years when she was at Stanford. This is her third year being named All-American, first team. I just want to ask you as a woman, I know a lot of y'all don't like to watch women's sports. What is your take on the ascent now of women athletes? What's your thoughts on that, Lady D?
I absolutely love it. And I still do believe that the primary audience is still going to be men, because men just like sports the most. Like, you don't see a lot of women involved with stuff like that unless it's their kid or hometown type situation. But I am so excited for her. I just hope she has a decent family rallying behind her to make sure she manages that money okay, because who knows how long she could be there. And so I just think it's awesome.
I agree. I want to talk to the girl. Well, I'm a girl dad too. I want to talk to the girl dad, because you got a daughter that's getting ready to start her volleyball career in college, if I'm not mistaken. We just saw Coco Gauff win the French Open. The young lady did her thing. What would you like to see women's sports as far as compensation? And I'm talking about the NIL deals. What would you like to see, how these good women athletes make sure they get the same fair shake that their male counterparts are getting when it comes to NIL deals?
Yeah, so this is be my daughter's second year. So they won.
Oh, second year. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, man, they won the championship last year.
Okay.
So, that's my ring. So she need to win another one, because then she can get her own. But that's the one I paid for. But man, I'll be honest with you, man. I think they have a better opportunity in college, and even if it jumps down to the high schoolers, because the boys is already headed that way. But I believe that's going to push the professional side to have to step their money up because college makes more money off of these kids than professionals do. So I think it's going to make kids probably stay a little longer now, especially the girls, right, and all that kind of stuff. And so I think pushing them to get this more in college is actually going to put a little pressure on the professional side of that for women. I think they're doing a great job. We've already seen great athletes. I just think women, y'all keep putting out quality work. That's what I want to see, quality work. Go and get in the gym, perfect your craft. This young lady has perfected her craft. She took the Texas Tech Raiders to the championship, and they ain't been there in God know how long. So, you know what I'm saying? So that alone right there. So again, you get what you pay for, and they pay for a champion. Because she was at another school. She transferred from Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford. Yeah, she transferred from Stanford.
So she was good. So again, but now you have put them on the map, and that's gonna get her paid. So y'all put your colleges on the map, you're gonna get paid because there's no professional sport in softball like that.
No, not on a professional level. I don't think.
Yeah, so it's really hard. I don't see because again, most people in college are rooting for you because it's their alma mater or somebody they know goes there. So I just don't think we're gonna get out of that realm from where we are. Basically, I know they even trying to get female hockey started. I just don't see all that happening. I just think y'all take advantage of college and just enjoy it. Now you get to get paid. So I that's for me where I'm at.
Yeah, you made a valid point about the professional leagues. As far as women, the WNBAs, they're gonna have to step their game up because now the women actually can make more money at the college level than they can become the professional. Now I'm coming to the Archie Bunker of the panel, who we all know don't give a rat's ass
at all
about women's sports
at all.
But I gotta ask my good brother, because you were the one that actually sent me the link to the story, and I knew about it, but I was like, Brother Black sending me this about women's sports. What drew your interest when you saw that? What interested you?
Again, it's not a sport I watch, and I don't typically follow women's sports. But when it came for whatever reason to my feed, I clicked on it, caught my interest, and I thought it was noteworthy, and that she's carving out a lane. So to your guys' point, I'm not gonna watch. I'm being brutally honest. It won't make me watch. But that doesn't stop me from being proud of her achievement.
Sure.
And it doesn't also preclude me from wanting to see women get paid more. I personally am not a fan of it the same way I don't watch wrestling. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't pique my interest. But in terms of her accomplishment, and you mentioned Coco Gauff, I love that these young women are doing their thing. I love that they're carving out their own lane, and I love that they're getting paid for that recognition of doing it. And to your point, Brother Brenton, to put your school on the map in such a way, and the question was asked, why aren't we talking about this even more? And and so I wanted to just shine a little bit of light on the fact that this sister's doing her thing, And so if we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and some of these other people, let's take that flashlight and put it over here too.
Yeah, and great point. And I'm glad you brought that up because we've seen women's sports take a explosion since the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I've always watched women's sports, but the casuals now, they're getting into it. CC says, I agree, Lee. Put that back up for me, Brother Brent. I agree, Lee. I want young women to get the recognition and pay they deserve. I totally agree with that. So that's a pretty cool story. And just to, before I get out of here, got to tell you about this new law in Texas. Since we in Texas, except for Brother Black, Governor Abbott signed this new NIL law into effect on this past Thursday. And it's going to mean a whole lot of, it's going to make a difference in recruiting in Texas. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, now high school athletes that's 17 and older can sign NIL deals while they're still in high school. So that means a kid that's 17, he could be a junior. He could have an NIL deal for 2 years in high school if he's a 3, 4, 5-star athlete. So that's going to totally change the landscape of how you recruit. And also in that bill, now the universities can pay their athletes directly. Before this, it was the collectives. That's the only way. The schools couldn't. But now the colleges and universities in Texas can pay their athletes directly. So, I like it. But it's going to be a have and have nots, if you want to know what I mean. Because the big money college is going to be able to pay and get the big recruiters, whereas the other the TCUs and the Baylors, they may not have that type of bread to attract those 3, 4, 5-star athletes. So I just had to throw that in. And I keep you posted on that. Keep checking me out on TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle. All right, back to you, Brenton.
Woo, listen, I'm telling y'all, I just see a lot of problems in that because, again, folks already can't live certain places to go play. And then you're going to have family members getting mad. And listen, couples going to stay together now because daddy.
I'm gonna do a show. If you want to be on a panel, we can talk about it because I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think now it's made college it's a business and it always been.
Now, Kenny,
players been getting paid illegally. Now it's legal.
Kenny, now you winning money never caused people more problems. Didn't Jay-Z tell you that?
It ain't the money. It's the ignorant people. Well, money ain't evil. Money ain't evil.
That's right. But don't you think money gonna go to some ignorant folks?
Money has always went to ignorant folks. Hey, we got one in the White House.
All right, I'll wait for the show then. I'll wait for the show.
Money.
Right.
All right, y'all. We're here to celebrate the month that they call Pride. Listen.
Oh Lord, I didn't know this was the question.
I didn't celebrate because the kid. Well, I mean, you ain't gonna. I gotta make AI work.
You gotta make it work.
I think we needed AI for this one.
Well, listen. That's why you can't fuss with us. You gotta fuss with the computer.
Hey, Brenton, should there be a parental disclaimer up for this segment? so parents might not let their children watch this.
I like the question, but for a different reason. I can't wait to hear where you're going with this.
Yeah. You should always be listen. No kid, as long as you see that black man to the right of me, I don't even let my son. Remember, he's the most favorite fan we got, but you can't watch the show, bro. So, I mean, listen at your own risk, but we having adult conversations, so I'm sorry. We enjoy our show, so y'all just buckle down. So here it is. She said, "What you say, Carol?" She said, "No, we're all adults." Yes, ma'am.
All right, I hear you, CC.
All right, so I asked AI. I say, "What would be the top 3 signs that someone is gay?" That's what I asked AI, and AI begins to speak in such a way that I think we should have a good conversation in this. It says, identifying someone's sexual orientation can be complex, as it involves personal experiences and feelings that may not be visible to others. Moreover, assumptions based on stereotypes can lead to misunderstandings. However, if you're looking to understand signs that someone might identify as gay, consider the following. Number 1, behavioral cues. It says some individuals may exhibit certain behaviors often associated with the LGBTQ plus community, such as openness in discussing same-sex attractions or relationships. This could include references to having crushes or romantic interests in individuals of the same sex. Sister, I'm going with the advocate first. What you think about that?
Yeah, I guess because a crush is a crush. So yeah, I agree.
Okay. Right, because that's the proclivity. So again, Kenny, how you take that?
Yeah, I guess. I think it was pretty accurate.
Okay, all right.
In my opinion.
Brother Black, you said you wanted to talk through this, or for a different reason.
I want to see where it's going, but
good.
But this one, I agree with 1,000% because that is the ultimate telltale.
Right.
I can sit here and say, "Hey, I like brother what you got on, but I want to fuck you." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so the moment when it gets beyond, like, "Ooh, I think he's cute," you probably want to suck some dick.
Yes, sir. All right, we're waiting. All right, number 2, interest and hobbies. It says a person might engage more with communities or activities that are traditionally associated with the community. It says culture, such as attending pride events, participating in the LGBTQ plus advocacy, or being involved in activities that celebrate or support gay rights.
I disagree with that one.
You disagree? Okay, what you mean?
Because I've always considered myself an ally.
Right.
If I knew people that because I don't know why, like all my life, younger people that I see going through, you know how you meet the person that's obviously gay, you know, you just know they're gay, but they're not out the closet. And when they sit down and say things to me like their dad would never let them, or their mom would never let them, or there's some shame attached to it and she a whole stud or something. Like I've always, when those people had the courage to be like, to stop hiding, I've always been that person that was willing to help kind of celebrate. So I've always been like an ally for that particular community. So I think if 10, 20 years ago, you saw me at a gay pride parade, nobody's going to assume. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, y'all. That ticker was bothering me. I said, ugh, I had to change the word. It was bad English. Kenny, I mean, what do you think about the interest in hobbies?
I disagree with this one, because I think you can be an advocate for homosexuals and attend different things, and you don't necessarily have to be that. I think a lot of us can probably say that we have family members that are gay, and I would be supportive of whatever it may be, because I'm first of all, I'm comfortable in my heterosexual skin. So I ain't tripping, but I'm definitely going to be supporting my family member who may be gay and whatever, you know, that may be. So now I disagree with that one.
Okay. All right. Lee Black.
I kind of agree with this one. While I too am, I'm not a homophobe in any way, but I think this is reflective of it up to a certain point. I don't necessarily would say I'm an advocate. I could support you personally in your choices.
Okay.
But when we use the word advocacy, that's where, for me, I draw the line. Okay. I defend your right to sleep with whoever you want to and to do whatever you want to. But there's certain things that I won't do. I won't knowingly go to a gay club. I won't knowingly go to a gay wedding because I'm not in support of it.
Right.
Now, as a grown person, you can marry whoever you want to, but I personally believe marriage is supposed to be between a male and a female. So when I get to a point where I'm going to attend a function that is going to identify me as an advocate for it, no, I could attend a gay pride parade purely out of curiosity without engaging in any activities. So when our family comes along, I ain't going to be waving my arms around and shit. You know, I'm going to observe if I want to do it. And once I've seen it once, okay, now I know what goes on. Tank says you can suck a dick a couple of times and it still don't make you gay. I disagree with him wholeheartedly. Once a dick crosses your lips, you pretty much have settled that conversation.
I'm sick of that.
Sick of you. All that twirling around. All right. Cece said she had a conversation with somebody just yesterday, and she said you can't advocate and not. Y'all see my new feature down here? I had to pay for, right? Yeah.
With I see that with the chat up there. Is that extra? Do you have to pay for that on the stream? Oh, okay.
No, it's
so when you go live, okay, I like that.
I like it.
All right. Yeah, you just have to click it on up at the top. But anyway,
okay.
Yeah. All right. So third, social circles. They say it says the company a person keeps can sometimes indicate their sexual orientation. It says if someone predominantly socializes with LGBTQ plus friends or remains engaged in LGBT spaces, it may suggest their identity. Kenny? Because again, if you're around them all the time, I mean, I don't know what you think, Kenny. You think that's about right?
I think that's somewhat accurate.
Okay, all right, sister.
I think what's that saying? Birds of a feather flock together. I think there's some truth in that.
Okay, all right. Again, we're not judging. We just talking.
Right. We're not judging. I ain't judging nobody. You right.
All right, sister.
I like that they use the word sometimes because it just depends on your situation. Like I don't, but I have classmates who are really good friends with people who were kind of like tomboys back in the day, and now they're like gay, and there's continue to be like their best friend, and they're around them all the time. I personally don't. I don't have that. But what I'm saying is, and I think women, we get so much more of a pass than what y'all do. And that's what I was thinking about with Black. a minute ago. And I kind of hate that for men, especially because I feel like y'all can't even be comfortable like we can. Like, I feel like if you catch me at like a gay bar, whether it's men or women, like, you know, women, we love doing drag shows and things like that. And I don't think people judge us, or either we don't care. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. I just feel like we can be more comfortable in those spaces. So that may be why it can be like a sometimes, because we don't really care what most women. It's just not that big a deal to us, I think.
For sure. Welcome to the party, Team King 2454. Yeah,
what's happening?
Hey,
Killeen, Texas in the house. That's what's happening.
They say I like my bird from Popeyes. Listen, and I like mine spicy too. So
I like mine too.
Yeah. Cece said I disagree. 2 of my best friends were gay, and I'm not gay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, Black.
I love CC's point. I actually have really good friends that are gay.
Mm-hmm.
But where I disagree with you at CC, the word I focused on when you read that was predominantly.
Mm-hmm.
The word I focused on was predominantly.
Right.
So one of my friends, a fan of my show, Steven, whenever he's in Atlanta, he comes stay with me. Mm-hmm. And he's extremely open about what he's getting ready to go do. And he's enlightened me in many ways. And I lost a very dear friend of mine who hurts to my heart to this day, Fabian, who lost his life a couple of years ago, and it still hurts, you know, dear friend of mine, very dear friend. But here's where, again, I go back to my references of, you know, why I don't go to certain events, even as though I consider them very good friends, because we have different aims, different goals. And so activities are going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
There would be no reason for me to go accompany Stephen at a gay event, a gay club, because we're looking for 2 totally different things. I like titties and ass. You're looking for dick.
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
And we're going to be unapologetic about that. And so for me to show up at a gay club, I can't get anything out of it. It wouldn't necessarily make me feel uncomfortable, but what would my point of being there being to seeing a bunch of sweaty dudes rubbing up against each other, all looking for dick? Whereas, you know, visually, internally, what I'm looking for is something completely different. And to your comment, Kenny, you said birds of a feather. My mama's always taught me that from the very beginning. That's a foundational principle of mine. If 4 chicks is hanging out, and I know 4 of them is hoes, you want me to believe that one chick that she don't suck dick and put her legs behind her ears? You know, baby, if you kicking it with them, I'm rubbing my hands together.
And that's what we tell men. So you telling me all your friends are hoes, all of them cheat on their wife and they ain't shit, but you the only saint in the whole world. That's what you trying to make me believe.
Here we go.
Here they go.
Here they go. 7 minutes in.
Here they go.
I can also tell y'all just really quickly why women do it is I think a lot of us feel safe in a gay club. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm being quite honest with you, when I go to a quote unquote heterosexual club, because I don't think there's really any such thing as that now, but there's a chance just that when I'm walking through the crowd, I'm gonna get my ass grabbed about 6 or 7 times. And I just feel uncomfortable and people are more aggressive and they're rude and all of that. And you just don't feel that at a gay club. Like a gay man can literally walk up to a woman and grab her boobs and you just laugh because you don't feel.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Let me give a retort. Let me give a retort to that. Lady D, how I miss the days when you could grab a woman's ass. I miss them days. But you can't do that anymore.
No.
In environments now, we talked about this on my platform. It's hands off.
Right.
It's y'all world now. We don't live in that world anymore where you could reach out and touch a woman's elbow. Hey, sweetheart, you're going to get cursed out.
You're right.
You can't even walk up to a woman's table anymore and say, hey, sweetheart, they're going to look you up and down. You have to be chosen now. And in this new environment where the lines have been blurred between masculinity and femininity, it's all gay friendly now. And so when I said I liked this question and I wanted to see where it was going, I was referring to this is societal. And this is where science, the engine that's the artificial intelligence, it's now putting this in a societal context of examining what it means to be gay, because we've gotten away from the traditional values because we don't want to talk about toxic masculinity anymore. And that's where I identify as a toxic male. And so identifying somebody now as gay, it's more difficult than ever because we live in a society now where I love what you said, that it's more accepted, especially amongst even Black women have got to a point where even when they see femininity in a man, it's no longer a deal breaker, you know? And some are outright saying, I don't care if he suck a little dick, but he all right with me. And so we've crossed these lines, and that's where the sexual fluidity comes into play. And I'm still sitting on the far end of the spectrum, and I don't know where I belong anymore.
Okay, well, one thing I took from this whole thing is AI did not say that you were born gay. And that's a conversation for another day, but I'm just saying it never said that they are born this way. So, all right, we're only gonna do this month because I ain't playing with y'all. We just having a conversation because again, ain't nobody say we always, what did you say, Black? They the most intolerable and wanting all the tolerance. So all right. So all right, well, that's what AI said. So we're gonna let it be. Now listen, before we move on, I gotta check with something now because we said we're gonna keep it consistent. Sarah, how's this new journey of yours coming?
Who, me?
Yeah, you know who we're talking about.
I had to catch myself for a minute. I'm happily living in my backdrop. I'm watching the BET Awards as we speak, and I'm proud to say to you guys, in case you haven't noticed, they are catering to a much older audience this go round. I advise you to watch this one. The audience they're catering to the 30 and somethings up, and you're not seeing the typical twerking and the ass shaking. And so I'm actually enjoying it. So my journey is going fine right now.
You totally skirted around the question.
Yeah, that ain't
what the hell we was asking.
I said my journey.
You haven't backslid. That's what they want to know.
No, I have not, and I haven't even thought about it.
That's
all right. Ladies, y'all give him a call and let's see if he ain't got no pressure on him. So y'all check him out. Let's see what he gonna do.
True test gonna be the weekend of the 18th and 19th. Going out of town, and yes, it's Arkansas, so they must have do in Arkansas. So there's likely to be some holes there.
Listen, if I'm gonna ask AI, I'm gonna ask Lee. Yes, sir.
I know we need an Ask Lee segment.
Every week we gotta ask Lee.
We need an Ask Lee segment.
That's it. All right, let's keep this train going. Is there a double standard here? I tried to watch Ricky Smiley's stand-up this week.
I loved it.
I didn't see it.
I enjoyed it because I fell asleep.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it.
Okay, well, I mean, listen, it's entertainment, so it's to each his own. But he has Foolish. I think it's on.
It's Foolish. It's on Hulu. Yeah, Foolish is on Hulu.
Yeah, but so again, Ricky is doing something in his comedy that I don't know if I agree with this, Ricky Smiley. And so I'm wanting y'all to take a look at this and let's see if this is a double standard. Watch this.
Man, where's the gifts at, Ricky?
That? Just come on.
Behind the couch. This is about that. You got the music ready? Here you go. Hit the music. Music first.
We're doing this with kicking it with my boy Luke for the 9-3. You know what I'm saying? Because we be knocking it. G.I. Shazam with Dino.
There you go.
Y'all are crazy.
Y'all crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Give him a little dance.
What?
Hey, yo. Check the verse.
Do it. Move out the way. Go ahead, Chris.
Wow.
You know Jeff love a Chris now. Yes, his name Chris.
Chris.
Don't get up too much. Chris, don't let up. You asked for.
Okay. Now again, I don't want to have to say. I'm gonna get to your comment, Ms. Tori, when we get through this. But I want to stay in this moment. The obvious is the young man has a disability. I thought that was exploitation. I could be wrong, but I mean, number one, it's not funny. I didn't think it's funny, but at the same time, I'm not tripping. Like, I'm not finna go protest Ricky Smiley, but at the same time, I'm like, is that a double standard? I mean, Kenny, I'll let you go first. Is that a double standard here?
I would say if they didn't have a relationship. The background with Ricky Smiley and this young man is he took this young man under his wing years ago.
Okay.
This young man actually works for Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley pays him. He actually does karaoke with Ricky Smiley. Mm-hmm. So they have a relationship. And so this thing that you just saw him do, he does that at karaoke. So this just didn't come out the blue. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They have that relationship. So I don't have a problem with it because, again, Ricky Smiley's mentored this young man for quite a few years.
Okay, but this is my thing, sister. We're not making fun of him for giving a lap dance. We're making fun of him because who he is, and he's giving her a lap dance. No.
I just think I don't know the background on him. I used to listen to the Ricky Smiley Morning Show years ago when they were out of Dallas, but I haven't really listened much since they moved to Atlanta or whatever. So I don't know the background, but me just from the outside looking in, I'm seeing someone with possibly Down syndrome. And when I see someone that possibly has Down syndrome, I start thinking about his cognitive, where he is cognitively. Because a lot of people that are diagnosed with Downs, they are at a level of like an elementary school child cognitively. But I know that some are more advanced today and they're able to live on their own and things like that. Right. But just the way he was dancing on her, like he got a little, to me, he almost crossed the line a little bit, which means he may not understand boundaries and he may not understand what may be appropriate versus like, inappropriate in that sort of setting. So then that makes me feel like he shouldn't be doing that. It would be different if one of you fellas were giving her a lap dance. I would think that was funny because I know everybody's on the same page and then, you know what I'm saying? Yep. And so if Jess was to ever date this man or have any type of a sexual relationship with this man, I would almost think she could almost be breaking a law. Because does he have the cognitive ability to understand what's going on? So that's the first place I go. But he may be much higher functioning than I think. And in that case, it would be different.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I'm not here to be one way or the other. I just look at it and I know it. So is it too, Lee, is Ricky Smiley?
Is it what?
Is it also because Kenny said it's because they have a relationship, but I'm asking, is it also because it's Ricky Smiley doing it? So is he getting a pass because he's a comedian?
Maybe, but I don't have a problem with that at all. Number one is between comedians. Jess is a comedian as well. Right. I am familiar with the guy Chris and all his antics. He's pretty popular, associated with Ricky Smiley. Mm-hmm. But for me, y'all got to understand again. I think we spend too much unnecessary time on bleeding heart shit like this. I'm old school. I still say faggot, midget, retard. Fuck them. When it comes to comedy, it's all fair game anyway. So, my thing is anybody deserves the right to get talked about. If you're funny, it's funny. And so I don't give a shit about a retard dancing. He probably was musty and shit when he was dancing on her, and that was the expression her face made. But I don't think it's a double standard or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we post everything on the internet anyway. If I see a retard pole in the middle of the street, I'm going to bust my ass laughing. When a midget comes up, I say, oh, shit, look at that midget. And when somebody's flailing around, that faggot is really acting out.
The words spoken from Meg do not represent the thoughts or opinions.
Thank you, Lady D. Thank you, Lady D. I was gonna get that disclaimer too. Oh boy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Demi says a little expletive. I don't know how you enunciate.
Yeah, exploitive. You said it right, brother. Okay, exploitive. Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah, right, Demi. I think
it may be so. Me personally, I don't. It didn't bother me. I didn't look at it that way. There's no wrong answer here.
He didn't hurt him.
Let me say that they have a relationship. He's done these little antics for years now. So I think sometimes we just get a little uptight about stuff that's just really just kind of funny. And if it ain't so funny, that's cool. That's kind of how I look at it.
But Ken, you got to think about.
I'm just afraid that. Because I don't know anything about Chris, unlike Black, I just don't know if he knows how far to go. And it's going to end up in a bad situation that could even get Ricky in trouble.
Well, hopefully Ricky wouldn't put him in a position where it would get to that point.
And that's where you're playing with fire for me.
But I'm on the side of, again, we have put a camera in everybody's hand now. And when you turn on TikTok, you have actual retards making videos of themselves doing different things. You know, if you're going to play in that lane and invite me into making public viewing, don't tell me that I can't laugh at it or have my opinion about it either. Okay, and so you got a hunchback faggot always on TikTok with big crooked teeth and stuff. And so shit, when you make yourself and put yourself out there as public, I'm going to comment on it.
I just worry about it being at a karaoke bar one day. Ricky let Chris give some random girl a lap dance and he go too far and touch something, or she say she was uncomfortable, and then there you go.
Yep. But we live in that world, regardless anyway. Yeah. I just alluded to the fact that where we are as a society, people are litigious. Hell, we in the shadows of the Me Too movement that I could touch you today and a year from now, it's triggered you that you can't work anymore. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
So hands off, you know?
Yeah.
And to Carol's point, I do believe it has to do with whatever space you're in. So again, it's
and Ms. Carol, I made no disrespect to you personally, but my views I wanted to share. I use those words. I'm not gonna sit here and tell those lies. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I tell people, if you look at me on my platform, somebody could come on and say, look at that fat black bastard. I'm okay with it.
Yes. So again, I believe that there is for sure. She know this family here. So again, it does speak to the relationship, right? Because if you know somebody, you know their intent most of the time. And so again, that's what I'm saying. Because Ricky has a bigger platform, you kind of open yourself up, dude, for people who don't know this relationship to say, "Hey, man," because again,
I see your point on that. Definitely.
Yeah, what we did in school, you made fun of dudes that didn't have it all together. You know what I'm saying? So again, I cracked the jokes too, man. Listen, well, anyway, don't implicate yourself, son. Come on. All right, right. So Miss Torres said, "Black, you said you weren't watching the BET show anymore." I'm taping it. She says,
when the carpet came on and they were showing the upcoming, and I saw no young people. I was like, okay. I just kept watching, and then when it started, Kevin Hart came on and his monologue. I was like, okay, even the audience is 30s and up. They're catering to my demographic. They're honoring Snoop Dogg and Jamie Foxx, and even the performances have been old school, and so I was like, okay, this might be worth it. As I'm watching over here, I'm not seeing the young Thundercats on there twerking and shaking their ass.
Y'all sure Jamie gonna be all in? Well, I guess we'll see. All right, y'all. Here we go. News you can't use. So I know sister, she flies quite often, and I fly sometime. But apparently, Delta Airlines, y'all fly. You fly Delta? You don't fly.
I do now since Southwest stopped giving you 2 bags.
Yes, that's it. That's it. You say pay for your own baggage. Well, apparently, Delta Airlines is expanding their menu on the airplane. Now you can order Shake Shack.
Oh wow.
I said, why would y'all even want to make that an announcement?
Right.
She said off topic, we lost Sly. Oh yeah, I'm sure Kenny would have brought that up later on.
He mentioned it already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I'm sorry. Yes, he sure did, for sure. So so again, I mean, I don't normally last long on a flight, no way. So I just make sure you give me my honey roasted peanuts.
Ooh, is this their way of appealing to a specific demo? The only reason to make that announcement is now that Southwest, which is typically Black people, are you appealing to that one demographic? Hey, come over here because now we got Shake Shack.
I don't know. Maybe you're gonna need to get 2 chairs after you get through eating your Shake Shack.
Now, is that for only first class or is it for commercial? I mean,
no, I think it's everybody.
Is everybody?
Everybody can get it, but again, I don't know, but it is what it is. What'd you say, Carol? She says, "I don't want to eat on a flight. I just want to get there safely." Right. And I'm normally taking food from the court, y'all, food court. Anyway, if I'm gonna get on there, I want that stuff. But anyway, all right, y'all. Well, listen, it's been a lot going on. So, Devyn, tell us what's going on in Diddy's world.
Diddy. You know, I feel like when I'm in Diddy's business, every day I don't know if you guys have paid any attention, but I feel like I'm seeing the same song, different cast every day from Diddy. Right now, Diddy has an ex-girlfriend that's on the stand. She's going to be there for a few more days, and she's basically testifying to her relationship with Diddy. She's someone who has not sued Diddy. She has no intentions of suing Diddy. I think she tried to walk away from Diddy when the tape of him and Cassie in the hotel, when that particular tape leaked. At that time, he threatened to leak their own tapes because she was very upset because she felt like, she said she read all 35 pages and it was literally her life that she read with Cassie.
Okay.
And she's still testifying, and she's just very nervous. She's very needy, and she didn't say all bad about him because apparently it wasn't all bad, but he did. I don't want to say force, but she was participating in the freak offs, and he did have the bouts of anger and things like that. And believe it or not, because this is the same script, different cast. What I wanted to ask y'all, if for some reason Diddy was to get off on this, do y'all truly believe, I'm gonna start with you, Black, because I never do. Do you believe he is capable of being in a relationship and is being normal and healthy and not this abusive, manipulative scenario?
The best way for me to answer that is, what is normal? Because normal for you may not be normal for the next person. I wish, sister, I could sit here and tell you that in a perfect world, what we project as a sane, normal relationship is what everybody wants. It's just not true. And so he likes what he likes. His proclivities are what they are, as is mine, as is every party on this panel. His is just being laid bare for all to see. And so I hope he gets off. Everything that I've heard thus far has only reinforced that you have a freaky man who have proclivities that for some people makes them uncomfortable to talk about out loud. But the hypocrisy is that much more people do it than they care to admit. So to further answer your question, he's going to draw to him those people that are interested in that. Can a tiger change his stripes? If you're asking me, is he going to get off and be, thank the heavens, oh God, from now on, I'm going to be in a quote unquote normal relationship where we just date each other and we have sex when the lights go out. And I need your permission if you tell me I can put this in your mouth. No, I don't believe that's ever going to happen. I believe that that he likes what he likes. I don't think he's going to all of a sudden not like baby oil. I don't think all of a sudden he's not going to like some of the shit that he does. And by the way, there's always going to be women out there that are drawn to that. Exactly. I'm out of the game because these bitches is too nasty for me. That's where we're at.
Yep.
Kenny, if your daughter came to you after the fact and said she was dating P. Diddy, what would your reaction be? After the trial, after he's probably given 20 years probation or supervised this, that, and the other.
Right. It would take everything. It would take a whole lot of self-control from me.
Wow.
Not to. I would probably be cool with doing 20 for stomping a hole in P. Diddy.
Come on now.
just gonna be real funky about it. Don't mess with my baby.
Okay.
So that's the quick answer to that.
I was just
That's
about to
not
ask
what I
that story.
expected, but that's good to know. I expected that from Brenton. That's why I didn't ask Brenton. Brenton, I'm not even going to say it's one of your daughters because I know what your response would be. Let's say it's one of your wife's friends and you knew that she was dating Diddy. How would you be someone who felt like you needed to interfere, have a conversation with her?
Just give it to him. Like, dang.
I know a lot of stupid women, and I know a lot of my wife. Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, yes. No, listen. They may not be Diddy, but they still get it, just like it. So I listen. I don't need to be in nobody else's business because again, if you try to help, this is what I know. And I think we've talked about this before.
We have.
I don't help women in situations that I didn't get. If you ask me for my advice, I'm telling you, ask me before you get a relationship. Because once you're in that, I'm not fighting nobody to get out of nothing. I barely had to keep my daughters in check. You know what I'm saying? I tell them, whatever you do to her, you're gonna have to do to me. So be careful.
Lady D, can I add one last thing before you go?
For sure.
I have a biological son, and there's a daughter, the youngest child, and may or may not be mine.
Yes, we know the story.
Everybody says so, but we've never had the test done. And I love her dearly. And she's even popped in on the show. She's as nasty as they come. She dances and she got a little ass twerking around. I hate the way she dresses. And when she don't have to wear that wild me. But as I'm sitting here right now, her legs probably pimp so far behind her ears that she can't talk straight. And so the reality is she like what she like.
Right. I as a woman would lose my mind if one of my daughters told me they were dating like a Diddy. And if I don't know the woman, let me just say it's a random chick from California. I would almost be in a place where I would be like, what did you expect? She can't come back in 5 years and say that Diddy did all of these things to me because no one's going to take her seriously. So with that being said, any woman who would ever date a Diddy might be the dumbest bitch in the world. And if she gets her ass monkey stumped every day at 7:15, that's what her ass would get if you take your dumb ass in P. Diddy's house. Bitch, I hope you choke on baby oil just because you that damn stupid. So I don't think he's capable of being quote unquote normal. And when I say normal, I mean abusive, because some women like freaky situations. I'm not talking about threesomes and doing your swinging and all that. That's everybody's prerogative. I'm talking about the abuse part of it, the manipulation and the all that shit. She would just have it coming. I think he's incapable. And now I'll continue to follow Diddy's nasty ass to the end of this.
Yeah. My goodness. Well, let's take a Diddy break.
This is a test.
You need to stop it, Britt. Let's take a Diddy break.
You
right about that.
All right. Well, listen, I ain't gonna make it no better with this one, but I'll be enough. All right, y'all. Listen, I got a black love scenario for us, and I got another video for us to take a look at. And it's Pride Month, and we're gonna do it all month. I wish it was like February, less weeks, but we got. So I want y'all to look at this video and then let's talk about this conversation because I think it's necessary. So put your kids up.
Do you only know gay men?
Well, I don't date gay men.
Well, okay. Well, I when you guys be saying that, that's weird.
Why?
Because what do you mean you don't date gay men? Because if he is sleeping with you and sleeping with a woman, he's something.
Well, he's not gay.
What is he?
He's definitely not gay.
He's bi?
Listen, because if a man come in here and he looks at me and you.
Yeah. What is he?
Well, he likes women.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
Well, and if he does know, he likes women.
Okay.
Now,
So, but what is he?
Well, that would possibly, it's a possibility.
He's bisexual?
He could be bi or he could be pan.
Okay, got
You
it.
know, a lot of men are
Yeah.
a lot of men are pan, but they don't say anything. Like
I don't want to run into them. I don't want to date him.
Nene, if you've dated
I need you to like
Nene, if you've
Hello
dated
Kitty all the time.
If you've dated men,
Yes.
if you've dated men, there's a possibility in your life that
he's been with a man.
He's been with a
Do you only know gay men?
Now, number one, that's a lie. That last statement was a lie. I'm just anyway.
Hold on, you saying the last statement where she said that if she's dated men, there's a possibility that he slept with a man?
Yes.
You said that's a lie?
You think that's a lie?
I believe it.
I know I ain't slept with no man.
Well, not you. She didn't say all. She said a possibility.
That's why I'm to clarify where you're going.
Oh, talking about Nene was slept with her man.
No.
Like out of all my years of dating, there's a great chance that I've encountered a man who's had
That's been with a man. She said there's a possibility, and I think that's an accurate statement.
I heard that wrong. I'm thinking she said out of all the years you.
No, she's not saying all men.
No, she didn't say all men.
Oh, okay, listen, you better get my mind together. Listen, we finna end this month. I'm sorry. Okay, sister. I mean, clearly the person that Nene's talking to is trans. Well, I don't know. Is it trans if you ain't had your part? I don't know what it's called. Okay, trans. But that person still has a penis
and a big one.
Oh, you dug in their business too?
I'd be all in TS business. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, really? Who is this?
TS say she hung bigger than most dudes.
Okay, I don't. The question is,
I just think some men like titties at the top and dick on the bottom. I mean, it's their business, right? You know what I'm saying? My only problem with these guys is the ones, because if y'all don't know, transgender women are the ones that are most likely to be killed or hurt by a dude. And most of the men, a lot of them will lie and say that they didn't know it was a male. And you ain't missing that tree trunk. You lying. Right. You lying. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of refer to those men as like a fluid or whatever. Pansexual is the same thing. You'll just be with anybody, but I think they're just fluid. But I think a transgender woman is also, it's like the entry phase to being a gay male, because you still present to the world as you still like women, but there's just a little surprise at the bottom when you're in the room.
I just want to go back to playing Legos. Where you just build a car and a house, and Black, okay. Is a man who knowingly sleeping with a trans, is that person?
He is gay and wants some dick and stop playing games. I resent the whole implication of this, and I hate that we are tattling around and creating other classifications. Right. And that's when the way that this person answered it is that they might be paying fuck a pan and all this unnecessary 36 chambers that you want to go around about that.
52 genders.
You know, and we now, if I love a machine, like there's a classification for that. Right. We just got off the P. Diddy Frick situation. Let's call a spade, please. And the reality is, if any way, if you a man, fuck the surprise, that is somewhere in there, you can dress it up how you want to. If you want some dick, you're gay. Own that, and I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But don't play with me and don't play with God with that type of shit. And I just hate that we've gotten to a place where now you got a fucking she sitting on the platform saying that I'm as much woman as you and this, that, and the other. Right. And science is taking God out of the equation as if he's made some mistake or other. And the reality is I respect you 1,000 times more. Just say, hey, I'm gay and I have variations on that. I like to dress up and I like to do this, that. I just finished saying, there's a level of freakiness behind closed doors, okay, but there are two genders. There's male and there's female. and then there's gay and there's straight. This whole notion that we mixing in between and all this kind of stuff, just own it. Just own it 100%. Then I respect you 1,000 times more. But I agree with what this person says, that we are now living in a time where people are so intertwined that it is very likely that the guy that presents himself as masculine, as straight, as thug, this, that, and the other, in many cases, these are the very guys that's actually out there doing the other. And my thing is just own it.
And Toria, I want to respond to Toria really quick. Toria, I think, and I hope it's still the correct term, but in my understanding, a transgender is just someone who goes by a different gender. Once you've actually had like your bottom surgery, I think you're technically transsexual.
Thank y'all. I mean, I really had a hard time watching Oppenheimer because there was just a lot of conversations about nuclear bombs atomic bombs. I didn't care to hear it, and I'll put this right next to that. So, Kenny, I mean, here's my question to you, sir. Are you wrong? And I'm saying the person, the trans, are they wrong for not wanting to tell a man that they are not? Okay, Lee.
Almost definitely. That's deception. I think I'm gonna go with Brother Black. Own it. Just if that's who you are, if that dude is down for getting with you and you be honest with him, just go ahead and own it. If that's what you want to be, why hide it? And to a man. But I would say this though, a lot of men already know. I be honest with you, I could walk in the room with that. What's her name? Her, he, or whatever. TS. What's her?
TS, man.
I could tell that that's not a. She's not a real woman. I could tell there's some manly things about her that I could pick up on. But some guys, some straight men may find that attractive, and that's their thing.
But they straight, bro? Are they straight?
No, I'm not saying that man is straight. No, I don't think so. No, not at all. Okay. But what I'm saying is to that person that's transgender or whatnot, just be honest and own up to it. Don't deceive a person from the very beginning.
So what's the shame of it? Why who are they catering to try to say we want to be accepted by something?
Because they can still say that they're straight. Did you see how TS said that she does not date gay men?
Right.
By you liking a TS, even though I personally don't believe you, but you can still tell one of you guys, no, I'm technically straight because the person I'm dating is a woman who just happens to have a salon down to her knees or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's because, in my opinion, for a lot of these men, they still haven't gotten out of the shame and the embarrassment of coming out there and saying what they're attracted to. And I feel I'm just going to refer to y'all really quick. When I met my husband, who's not Black, he would say that a lot of people he knows refer to women like me as Singapore. And I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Right.
Because of the way I carry myself and the way I am and the way I act, I'm an easy start to dating Black women. You know what I'm saying?
What was the term?
Before you venture into like the sexy reds and the thug ass women. You see what I'm saying?
What was the term?
Yeah.
Huh?
What was the term?
Singapore. And I forgot why it's called Singapore, but it's just an easy transition into dating Black women. You know what I mean? When you really want to try to date the sexy red, but you're intimidated by those women, even though that's kind of what you like.
I get it.
And so I feel like TS and women like TS are like the Singapore for a lot of men. You want to venture into that, and that's an easy start because technically you can say you're straight.
And I think it's more sinister. I think this person was trying to validate their own personal belief that I'm just as much woman as you are sitting over here. Because the argument she was trying to present is if a man walked in here, Nene didn't want to offend her, but she was insinuating that if a man walked in the room and looked at both of us, he's going to see two women. And to Kenny's point, no fucker. I see one woman and one hard ass faced man trying to look like a woman.
That's only until you know.
That's where I'm going here now, because I live in Atlanta and there's many where you can't tell. I live in a place where you better ask. You better damn well ask that person because they could look because they really do. The aesthetics are there, and you better say so. Look here, so are you a biological woman? So when you alluded to, no, it's real. In the same way that I expect the woman at some point to say, look, have you ever slept with a man? Because that's a valid question where I live at, to ask to know, because you're supposed to have that real conversation, you know, to be able to, if you want to know, you know. So my thing is, it's just, for me, it's an abomination. When I used to first start studying the scriptures, and I thought about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, it used to puzzle me. How can two cities get destroyed to where you can't find 10 righteous people? And it got down to a point where they even wanted to fuck the angels. You know, Lot said, you can have my daughters, but they said, no, fuck your daughters. You know, send them 2 men out here. We want to fuck them. I know I'm being brutally raw with it, but in essence, this is what happens. And I thought, how could you get to that place? But we way past that now, because we've now made it such an abomination that we're saying there's really no such thing as a woman. We're redefining what a woman is.
I'm not.
And redefining, and I'm sorry, I'm not with that. I'm not in that camp. It is what it is. And that's why I said, just own it. And I'm not even sitting here saying from a scripture point of view that one sin is beneath the other, and heterosexual sex is any better, this, that. It all falls under the umbrella of fornication or adultery, whichever, depending on your status. But my thing is, don't do the okie doke on me either. And so when you're going to talk about violence, don't trick me, motherfucker. A little secret is that my eyelashes are fake and that I wear a push-up bra. But don't fucking get me in a situation where now I put my hand down there and I feel a dick. You're going to get your ass whooped.
All right. I'm watching cartoons when I get over here. I'm finna go watch Paw Patrol or something. I just got to get back. All right, y'all. Well, listen, we got a couple more weeks to get through this, but these are conversations we got to have. But at the same time, it just takes you to worlds and places that you just okay. All right, but it is what it is. But thank y'all for sharing. I appreciate y'all's point of view at this, and yeah, I won't be using this stuff no time soon. I feel for you brothers, man. Y'all, I really do feel for y'all.
It's rough out here, brother. Rough out here.
It is. It is.
Man,
it is.
And never in my life would I ever thought one of the questions you gonna ask a girl on the first date was, me and you gonna? Yeah, I'm not. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, listen. I don't have no. Well, that's something I ain't never got to worry about. So
right.
Y'all do y'all thing. I'm 20 this year, so good. All right, listen, y'all. Great show, fantastic. So always a pleasure. And now Lee Black will come to you with uncomfortable truth.
Organically, this show led right into that. The fact that we just had a conversation on something that it's not comfortable to talk about this. It's raw, it's real, but this is so much why I appreciate this platform, because we don't shy away from the uncomfortable truths, whether we agree or disagree. And I appreciate the viewers for sticking with us and sharing your view, because there's value in us having these conversations.
Right.
And so it led to this very same thing. And I'm not going to be the harbinger of bad news here, but I just want to open up the dialogue to another uncomfortable truths we need to start having. Right now, as I've been distracted a little bit of watching the BET Awards performance, Jamie Foxx just received an honor from Stevie Wonder. I definitely got to go back and watch that. And I bring this up only because they're billing this as the cultural experience, the Black excellence, and we're doing it for the culture. And by all accounts, from what I could see, Toria CC, it's living up to its status. And we're celebrating ourselves tonight as we should. And I love seeing that. But if we're going to talk about cultural excellence, we need to have parts of the conversation that can't all be roses. We can't always be considered we're kings and queens. There's a few fucking paupers amongst us too. You know, we're not all kings and queens. So let's just keep it real. Apologize for Sherry bugging in because she's telling my show. But even when you look at that show right there, you know, we have to have a conversation about how we present ourselves, how we're dressed. And if you guys get a chance, go back and look at the first opening monologue from Kevin Hart. He does a brilliant job bringing up this very point, that how we present and represent ourselves, it needs to matter more. how we carry ourselves, because if this is a night of cultural excellence, we're not the only people watching this, people. So we need to think about this. And that doesn't go unnoticed that Walmart is the main sponsor behind this. Yes, folks, the same Walmart that rolled back its DEI initiatives are now using this as an opportunity to chime in on letting us know how much they believe in us. That's a conversation we need to have. Snoop Dogg is getting honored. And I've always had the ability to separate a man from his art. I don't fuck with Snoop as a person, but I would never take away from his cultural importance to the business. And he is very much deserving of any award they're giving him from a musical standpoint. But I can't forget what you did. I won't. And let's talk about this movie that Tyler Perry has right now called Straw.
Okay.
It's very polarizing, folks. And so, well, I don't know what side you fall on this. He's given his audience exactly what they expect. And for mostly women, I'm seeing they love it. They're lauding the performances of Taraji P. Henson, Tiana Taylor, and even Sherry Shepherd is doing her thing, I'm told. And I'm glad to see that. And I have always applauded Tyler Perry for giving jobs to B and C-level actors, making sure that they work and giving them their flowers. And in particular, he makes sure that the Black woman is seen. But does he do the same for the Black man? Because I see a lot of Black men talking about the fact that how he depicts us. And many are scarred from the first 20 minutes of this movie, saying that it depicts us in the worst possible light. Every possible stereotype you can think of, he puts out there. And when you have the ability to greenlight your own movies, your own studio, and he made this movie in 8 days, Tyler Perry, as much as I love what you do for us as a culture, are you telling me that's the best you can do in terms of representing who we are? Are you showing a clear, true vision of us? Why is it that you always depict the Black woman as some victim? And that when she does get saved by a Black man, he happens to be light-skinned with cornrows because maybe that's your type? But what happened to us dark-skinned brothers, of roughnecks? You know, why are we criminals and thugs and abusers? Is that what you want to project? This is a conversation we need to have, people. And there's an article going on right now amongst Black media where a Black lady says, hand me to the nearest white man.
Oh,
yes, sir. If you haven't watched this, follow this up. She's talking about the fact that she would much rather prefer to work for white bosses than for Black bosses. And it is generating some kind of conversation. She says, if you offer me a job and I find out my manager is going to be a minority, babe, keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I prefer to work under white men.
Wow.
She goes on to talk about what it's like to work for Black people. She said they try to make you pay back the dues they had to pay in 1987. Y'all got a chip on y'all shoulder that I personally do not have the brain power to deal with. And so quite naturally, folks, this has brought up a lot of conversation. And I tell you, two things can be true at the same time. In one sense, maybe this is some interpersonal racism that she's dealing with. But we have to be honest here sometimes that sometimes we are our own worst enemies. My brother right below me, he's real big on telling us to support Black culture. And I try, Kenny. But what does it say sometimes when you go to that Black restaurant and there's a white customer in front of you and he or she walk up and they're yes ma'am and no ma'am on there. And as soon as that white person stands aside, can I help you, please? We tend to drop our guard and lower the standard because you see my face and now it's bro man syndrome. And so we tend to show up late, not do the right thing. And I'm sitting here to tell you, because I work for white corporate America, I too have had much better working experiences working for white people than for my own. Now, they may hate my Black guts, and they may look at me in their own homes having dinner and say, I hate that fat Black bastard. But one thing I can tell you in all the years I've been working, white people ain't gonna fuck up their money and they're not gonna fuck up their name. And we just don't give a damn. And so these are things that we don't talk about out loud, and we certainly don't invite everybody to the picnic, as we say, but we need to start having some real conversations about how we present, how we represent ourselves. And it's the main reason why I've sworn off hoes, because I have woke up and looked at the fact that I no longer want to be represented by that. Nobody loves these hoes more than I love them. Lord knows they've given me quite a bit. But I'm tired of your nasty, filthy, no good bitches. And I want better for myself and I want better for my people. And that brother beneath me talks about Black love, and we can't get there unless we have some true conversations. God bless America.
That God bless America is crazy. Yes, sir. Okay. Oh man. You know, I don't normally get into your topic, but I'm gonna ask y'all, like, which one of us have not experienced racism in the workplace?
Have not experienced.
Yeah, have we not?
We have. No, we have.
So why would you say I would rather go work for white people than to work for black people?
She talking about white bosses, and the raises I have right now, they were not initiated by my black boss.
Okay,
they was initiated by my white manager.
Okay, all right, yeah.
It is white people that always come in. You're so great. You know what you should do? Because ironically, sometimes with my own people, they see me as a threat. And they're the very people sometimes that will go behind your back and, you know, he does this, that, and the other. And I've had to learn this from playing this game. And I know that white person sometimes don't see me as an equal, but you know, they look at my performances. And I have a saying that I've always functioned well, and particularly under Republican governments. I would rather be seen as one of them than one of those.
Okay.
And that's how I'm able to get ahead.
Yes, sir. Listen, always a pleasure. Thank y'all so much, man. Listen, this is what we do, and we do it well. So again, great show. Thank you all. Appreciate everything. CC said that she was glad to see Sinbad in there. Miss Tori said, yeah.
Okay. Sinbad is. Oh, so what is this? What is this on Netflix?
It's called Straw. Netflix. Yeah.
It's on Netflix. Okay.
See, the acting is great, but I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
I guess I have to check it out. I ain't watched the Tyler Perry movie.
I usually don't either.
Okay, well, yeah. So, all right, y'all. Well, listen, we know how we do it. We don't let him go last, and he can't go after nobody else. So, Kenny, please, sir, thank you for joining the show today and giving us all you got. My brother, give me your final thought.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting that I went first today because actually that is definitely. It ties into my final thought, and it's gonna be quick. Today would have been my late mother's 73rd born day.
Oh man!
And I was her first son,
okay.
So it's fitting for me to go first. And it'll be 20 years in October since she's been gone.
Wow.
And to say that my heart is healed, I would be lying. It'll never heal. But it gets a little better. But you know, the one thing I can say is she rocking and rolling with me every day. So I just want to dedicate my segment and my appearance today to my late mother, Louise Henderson.
Yes.
Happy eternal born day, mama. Your first son doing this thing.
Love and light, my brother.
That's my final thought.
Definitely doing his thing. That. Man, you have never made me feel better by letting you go first before these two go. So thank you, sir, for doing that.
I'll be vulnerable today. I've had a rough day today. I'm glad I did this. It's really made me feel better. Today I found out that my mom, well, I didn't find out. A couple months ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And we've been waiting for treatments and things like that. And today I found out that because of her cardiac health, her heart health, she does not qualify for any surgeries or any treatments. So it is what it is. And I have had a rough day. And you guys, I'll be honest, you made me feel so much better. And with that being said, it's a testament to life being short. So if y'all like titties at the top and dick at the bottom, do what you gotta do. Because time on this earth is time. It doesn't wait for anyone. So be yourself, be out loud, be happy, happy pride for those of you who get down like that. And you know what I'm saying? Just live your life to the fullest without worrying about what people think about you. And that's kind of where I am.
Oh man! All right, sister. Thank you. We love you for sure. 100%.
Sending peace, love, and light to your mother too, Lady D. Because actually, my mother passed away
from prayers for her as she goes through this. Because
my mother passed away from breast cancer, so I already know that I've been through that. So I know what that details. So we definitely sending peace, love, and light to her.
Thank you.
My heart and prayers to both of you guys, for real. Y'all know y'all in our hearts. You know, I love y'all. Y'all family. Sure. Y'all family. And I know as much as I talk, sis and bruh, I've said this before, ever need me, I don't give a damn what time of night or day it is. I actually know how to shut up and listen.
Yeah.
If you ever just need to vent and call and talk, please take me up on that. I'm here. And I can tell you for that man at the very bottom, Mr. Brenton, for you, what y'all may not know, everything just about I've ever gone through, he doesn't text. He call you.
Yeah.
He call you. So he's the real deal.
Yeah.
So that's why I love you guys. I took off work today and slept till 5 o'clock. I had a pretty rough week last week. Nothing like what you guys did. Just tired. So I'll try to end on a happier note. I am going to an event coming up. Got my ticket on Delta Airlines. If I do break my ethic, it might be this weekend. One of my old flames is coming to this event. And Devyn, you said about P. Diddy nasty ass being violent. He likes it rough. She loves it when I choke her neck, and we done broke a pool table, broke a couple of windows out. We damn sure put some holes in the walls. So if ever is going to be a test out there, she's going to be it, because she don't like it soft. She loves to be slammed up just raw, and she likes me to take that pussy. And so this is going to be a true test.
Mama, your first son had nothing to do with this. Please, Mama, please cover your ears. Please, could you cover your ears?
Wow. My goodness. I don't know.
CC says, "Oh, Mama."
About to lose your coin and have to start all over again. Start all over again in the step program.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right. We definitely starting the clock over there. Good light. Wow. No, he ain't making it past that one. I mean, were y'all at the zoo?
Oh my goodness.
Y'all favorite event is going to the
ain't a damn UFC wrestler or something.
Boy.
Okay. Yikes. Wow. All right. Well, all right. Listen, great show, man. Thank y'all so much. I will say this. I was watching something on the news. It was talking about being lonely. And all I could think about was the fact that I'm not lonely because I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like this is invaluable for us. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't too many more spaces where people could be vulnerable and and tell people what's going on in their world and know that people really care about what's going on with them.
Right.
Well, with that being said, ain't got nothing to do with my final thoughts. So I just want to make sure I get that out first before I go here and just know the two has nothing to do with each other. Okay. All right. So here's my question. There's something wrong with us. All right. If there's a blessing falling from the sky, what would it be? If you needed a blessing to fall from the sky.
No,
you want some all day money, huh?
My numbers hit, Lord. Just let my numbers hit.
You want them lotto numbers to hit?
I want them lotto numbers hit.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That is a definitely because I definitely don't mind being alone, Carol. I just don't like being the loneliness. I don't know nothing about that again because I believe in relationships. So all y'all saying money and lottery numbers, huh?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate everybody for being on. So in that case, I'm sorry. We definitely know it ain't money, but here's the best I got for y'all. If something's falling out of the sky, you may think it's a blessing, but maybe not.
Okay, let's go.
What the hell was that?
Did they drop a chair or a
Was that a couch? Wait a minute, was that a couch? What the hell was that?
Yes, that was a love seat, man. They had their hands out looking like they were ready to receive a blessing. I thought.
Okay, let's go.
Dang. Gee whiz.
Well, listen, all I'm telling y'all is if you're going to ask for a blessing from the sky, just make sure you be very specific.
You got that right.
Yeah, so that is what it is. So again, we'll be back on Monday. Again, one more week of pride.
Happy Father's Day. Before we get out of here, to my brothers, brothers on here. Obviously, I don't think we had any watching, but to my two brothers, man, happy Pappy's Day to y'all.
Right.
Enjoy y'all y'all new draws and y'all ugly ties and whatever socks, because I know you ain't getting nothing no better than that.
That's right. That's
so
right.
enjoy it.
That's right.
And happy Juneteenth weekend as well, Black folks.
Well, I will say I asked for something specific, so I'm getting a barber's experience. So
okay, well, good for you.
Oh, nice.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna let some ladies rub on my head.
Already, that's what's happening.
I know.
That too.
Do the missus know about this?
She do now. So she do now. Yeah,
That gonna get his head rubbed on too.
Yeah, well, let's just hope it ain't some no T.S. Madison, nothing like that. But anyway, all right, we know TD. She already scared it. So okay. All right, y'all. But listen, we'll be back in 7 days for sure. Listen, that's Devyn, that's Lee, and that's Kenny. We'll see y'all later. We out. Peace.
Peace out.